Hello, I'm Daniel Minchin, a professor at Houghton College in Western New York State. Houghton is a liberal arts institution with a Christian mission. For more than a century, it's provided a very high level of academic training from a Christian worldview, so graduates are equipped to face the many challenges of a decidedly non-Christian world. And one of the biggest challenges is teaching students how to understand and witness to the growing and sometimes hostile Islamic world. That's the job cut out for Benjamin and Christine Hegeman. Benjamin and Christine live a split life. For about a half a year, they minister in the college town of Houghton, about an hour away from Buffalo and Rochester. It's here that, as part of the college's Intercultural Studies department, Benjamin teaches courses in Islamic studies.
To his background, his time working in an Islamic country, his background, his study, really brings that depth of understanding that you can't get any other way, because he does know it from the inside. He, in the sense of having studied it academically as well as having lived with people. So that really makes that huge difference that's necessary to understand where an Islamic person is coming from.
Dr. Hegeman emphasizes the authentic in his classes. That's why students remove their shoes and women wear headscarves, mimicking how people in the Islamic world look and learn.
Let me open that up. What would you do? You're overseas, you're in Tunisia, let's say, and you just happen to be walking with some. You're dressed very modestly, maybe not dressed like total Muslims, but like Rachel there, signs you're modest, and you happen to walk past the beach, where there's a lot of French, Italians, and Greek people who are wearing little crosses. What do we do?
And during each class, Christine Hegeman serves tea, a typical and courteous ritual in the Islamic world, one showing hospitality and congeniality.
I really liked the topic that he was teaching on and thought that he did a really thorough job from a Christian perspective, and it's kind of a hard topic to do from a Christian perspective. And I kind of felt a calling to possibly witness to Muslims in the future, and thought that taking as many of his classes as possible would be beneficial.
Islamic studies are relatively new on campuses. Interest in the world's second most populous religion has spiked since world events have focused on the heretofore mysterious faith for most Westerners. In order to present the most accurate and up-to-date study, Benjamin has spent many hours writing his own courses. It's not unusual to see his light on at night or in the early morning as he reviews world events and ties them into his teaching. The Hegemans possess a deep knowledge base of Islamic practice and religious law. They draw on their vast experience as SIM missionaries for 25 years and their in-country experience in Benin, West Africa, where Benjamin and Christine spend the other half of their year.
Why Benin? Christine actually had the opportunity of meeting someone who was a missionary in Benin, and began praying for this lady. And one of the unique requests that this lady had was, would you pray for the training of leaders in a particular language group called the Bantunu people? And she did. This is even before we met, before we talked about missions. So she faithfully prayed, I think, every week. And when we finally began to talk about missions, we began a journey of looking at 5 different mission boards, because we were approached by 5 different missions to join with them. When it came to the choice, we chose one which was SIM, which happened to be the same mission that this young woman was with. It wasn't until we were in language preparation that we were approached, asked, could we actually go to that very same place where Christine had been praying for? And she was so thrilled, so amazed by that the very place she had been praying for years, that we became the answer to that prayer.
The Hegemans, who count on the support of their mission organization and their contributors, carry out much the same life in Benin as in Houghton. Benjamin writes curriculum that is used to train indigenous pastors in biblical studies. These pastors have no training beyond the basic Christian message. Inquiring minds want to go deeper, and Benjamin's variety of courses provide the learning materials to do that. In addition, his courses can be used by other missionaries in different regions of Benin who face the same challenge. Benjamin is also spearheading a drive to expand the library resources so pastors and students alike can deepen their knowledge of God's Word at any time that they're ready. It would be difficult to overstate the differences in these two environments. One with running water, plumbing, constant electricity, the internet connection, and so on, not to mention healthcare. In the interior of Benin, where the Hegeman serves, such standards are almost all missing. Something we take for granted, refrigeration, is not to be assumed. So why would Benjamin, a Dutch-born minister and professor who could live in progressive Amsterdam, and Christine, a college-educated Canadian who's very comfortable in Toronto, why would they do this? What's at stake?
What I would look and hope for in the response of my students is an expression that says, Lord, put me in. Coach, put me in. I want to belong to what you're doing in the world today. I see the remarkable challenge that Islam offers us. I want to be part of those who say yes. I'm asking that I may be part of fantastic teams. And what I would like to offer students at this college, together with my colleague Don Little, is a sense that we can offer them that training which will make them very valuable players on those teams.
God called us together for this ministry. It was very evident when we were dating, as we were considering seriously going into a marriage relationship. We had a very sincere sense that God was putting us together in order to help one another to fulfill His calling in our lives. Our giftings are very, very different, very much complementary to each other. I can't teach the way he teaches, and he just doesn't have the passion to do the kind of things that I like to do. I'm a very detailed person. I love logistics. I love create, as I said, I love to create environments where he can really blossom in engaging with people.
The Hegemans are prime examples of people who heard the call of God and answered it without reservation. They are true disciples of Jesus Christ. They've counted the cost, and they found it well worth the investment. Those of us in Christendom are blessed to have colleagues like the Hegemans, and we owe a debt of gratitude and a strong measure of our support to help them in the tall task of taking the gospel to a place very much unlike our own.